Welcome to the 2017-2018 school year. My name is Brad Jadarski. I'm the Oshkosh West Activities Coordinator, and I'll be narrating you through the 2017-2018 Athletic Code meeting presentation. Competing in athletics is a privilege, not a right. You are a student athlete first and foremost, and academics come first. As a result, student athletes have higher behavioral and academic expectations. The Oshkosh West Athletic Department vision is to educate, inspire, and shape the next generation of leaders through commitment, competition, and service to the team, our school, and our community. The athletic department has 5 core values that help guide everything we do and all decisions we make. We expect our student athletes and coaches to model and live our athletic department core values. 1, do the right thing. 2, strive for greatness. 3, lead with a purpose. 4, promote the Wildcat culture. And 5, raise the bar. We also created a Wildcat Creed for our student athletes. We ask our student athletes to live the creed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Part of being a Wildcat student athlete in the Wildcat way is we challenge you to be an 11. And that incorporates some of our core values, one of which is doing the right thing all of the time. Lead with a purpose. Set the example for others. Promote the Wildcat culture. Show your Wildcat pride. As part of a expectation being a student athlete in the Oshkosh West Athletic Department, weight training is a critical aspect of all of our programs that we offer. We have worked hard to create a common program for all sports, which is tailored to meet the needs of each of our individual programs. Again, weight training will be part of your daily practice each and every season that you participate in. Our core values that reflect the importance of that are striving for greatness. Hopefully, you'll take your conditioning and weight training to a year-round effort. Raise the bar. Encourage others to do the same. Physical fitness helps you compete at the top level as a student athlete. And lead with a purpose. Set the example for others. Show others that you are modeling our core values and setting the example. Again, we're encouraging our student athletes to be a leader. Many parts of the Oshkosh West High School building will show or have visual representation of our vision statement, core values, and Wildcat Creed. Again, we encourage our student athletes to live and model the creed 24/7. Ascension or Affinity Sports Medicine provides athletic training services to Oshkosh West High School. We have one athletic trainer who is new to us this year. Tyler Van Sistine was a familiar face for part of last year. He filled in during one of our previous trainers' leaves, but now Tyler will be the full-time athletic trainer at Oshkosh West High School. His email address and phone number is found on this slide, and if you ever have an issue that requires his attention, he will do a great job and be more than happy to help you. The next few slides contain athletic training information that's vital for parents and student athletes to be familiar with. The athletic training room hours are from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday. Licensed athletic trainers practice under the direction and in collaboration with physicians and other healthcare professionals. They evaluate and treat injuries and provide rehab to the injured. They provide immediate care in the event of a game injury, and as needed, they will provide physician referral and will communicate with the parents and coaching staff about this process. Our athletic trainer also works extremely closely with all of the coaches in our Wildcat athletic programs. Concussion information is critical for you to be aware of both as a student athlete and parent. A concussion is a brain injury, and all concussions are serious. Concussions can occur in any sport. They can be caused by a direct blow to the head or an injury to the body resulting in an indirect force to the head. Any suspected concussion should be referred to the licensed athletic trainer. There are many varied symptoms that can describe a concussion, and not all are visible. These include headaches, dizziness, confusion, nausea, light and sound sensitivity, difficulty concentrating, memory loss, feeling slowed down, and personality changes can all be indicators of a possible head injury. Student athletes should never try to hide the fact that you have a concussion. Our licensed athletic trainer will perform a preseason impact concussion test to get a baseline of the athlete's neurological functions. All freshmen and juniors will be impact tested, and anyone who didn't take the test last year or is new to the school. Should the athlete sustain a suspected concussion, this pre-evaluation can be utilized by a physician to help determine the proper course of treatment for return to play. Only contact sports are tested. Any non-contact sport athlete may be tested upon request of the licensed athletic trainer. Non-impact sports include swimming, cross country, tennis, track, and golf. Parents and coaching staff will be contacted in the case of a suspected concussion. Athletes should be seen as soon as possible by the athletic trainer, then referred to a physician for further evaluation. All athletes will be kept out of all practices and activities while presenting any symptoms. When the athlete is asymptomatic, the parents will need a physician's clearance for the return to practice or play. Once cleared by the physician, the licensed athletic trainer will run the athlete through a gradual return to play protocol. Coaches are instructed to use the following procedure with student athletes and concussions. When in doubt, sit them out. Meaning, if a coach has any doubt a student athlete has a concussion, the coach will remove the student athlete from practice or competition to be seen by the athletic trainer. Parents and athletes are required to turn in a signed concussion information sheet once per school year before they can participate in any sport, including beginning practice. Additional information on concussions can be found at the WIAA website below. Pre-existing medical conditions. It is very important the licensed athletic trainer and coaching staff are notified by the parents and athletes about any prior or current health conditions. If an athlete carries an inhaler or an EpiPen, make sure the coaching staff and teammates are made aware of this and where to find it in the case of an emergency. Again, please share any pre-existing medical conditions with your coach and licensed athletic trainer. Hydration. Athletes should consume at least 16 to 20 ounces of water 2 hours before practice and at least 8 ounces in the 15 minutes prior to practice beginning. Athletes should regularly consume water during breaks in practice even if they do not feel thirsty. 48 ounces or roughly 2 normal bottles of water can be taken in during the course of an hour of strenuous practice. After exercise, for every pound of water lost, athletes need to ingest 16 to 20 ounces of water. This is 1 bottle of water for every pound lost. Additional health information for parents and student athletes. In order to participate in any sport at Oshkosh West, a valid physical is required. For the 2017-18 school year, the school must have on file a physical dated on or after April 1, 2016. And any physical between April 1 of 2016 and March 31st of 2017 will also require the WIAA alternate year card, which is a parent permission form. A reminder, student athletes do not get to practice until they have a valid physical on file with the school. A physical is good for 2 school years if it is on or after April 1 of a given year. At this time, I'm going to ask you to grab your Oshkosh Area School District Co-Curricular Handbook, which is green in color, and go to the WIAA Performance Enhancing and Banned Substance Information Sheet, which is found in the appendix of the Co-Curricular Handbook. Please note, it is a student-athlete's responsibility to check with the appropriate or designated athletic staff or school official before using any substance or supplement. Any substance chemically related to a banned or discouraged ingredient is also considered a banned or discouraged substance. There is no complete list of banned or discouraged substances. Do not rely on the list to rule out any supplement ingredient. Check with your athletic department staff prior to using any supplement. Banned substances. Do not use drugs that are illegal or could be harmful if taken in excess amount. Possession and or use violates the WIAA code, which means it would be an athletic code of conduct violation. Please note those banned substances. However, parents and student athletes, medications prescribed by a health provider used by the individual they have been prescribed to and used as prescribed should not be viewed as violating the controlled substance/supplemental provisions of the school's code. Please note discouraged substances. Possession and or use may violate school district policy or code. Again, student athletes should not be using substances found under the discouraged list as well. Please familiarize yourself with the WIAA Performance Enhancing and Banned Substance List. When in doubt, ask for additional clarification from the athletic department before taking any supplement or performance enhancing item. At this time, I'm going to ask that you open to the front of the OASD Co-Curricular Handbook. Again, it is green in color. My contact information, both email and phone number, are found on the cover. Parents and student athletes, if you ever have a question about anything at all regarding the OASD Co-Curricular Handbook, please feel free to see me, Mr. Jadarski, or contact me. I'm located in the main office at Oshkosh West High School. Note on the bottom of the slide is the WIAA website address. We are a member of the WIAA and as such are required to follow all rules and regulations that are set aside or provided by the membership. All of the WIAA informational items can be found online at their website. Please note on pages 3 to 4 of the district's co-curricular handbook is information regarding participating in a sport at Oshkosh West High School. There are a number of things required. First, a physical form must be on file with the school and it must be a valid physical, meaning it's dated on or after April 1 of 2016. An alternate year form or card may be required. Again, that is required, which is a parent permission form of any physical between April 1 of 2016 and March 31st of 2017. Parents and student athletes are required to sign and turn in an agreement of parent and athlete form and insurance waiver form. It is a green form this year. The parent and student athlete must sign and date the front. The parent must flip the form over, fill out the emergency contact information on the back, and sign and date the form. Payment of the athletic fee, if applicable, is also needed. The athletic emergency form is the back of the agreement of parent and athlete form. Student athletes will also bring home a pink emergency form after they start their season. Parents, please fill that form out, have your son or daughter turn it into their coach, as that authorizes the coach to provide emergency medical treatment in the event something happens during the course of the season. Students and parents are also required to sign and turn in concussion acknowledgement form. It is a white packet. The top sheet must be signed and dated by the parent and student athlete. Student athletes must also view the athletic department's code of conduct presentation, which you are currently doing now. When you're done viewing this presentation, you must fill out the form below the video link, hit the submit button, and that will populate to a spreadsheet. So for student athletes to be cleared to start practice, they must have a valid physical on file and alternate year card if needed, turned in a signed agreement of parent and athlete form, turned in a signed concussion acknowledgement form by both the parent and student athlete, and viewed the athletic department online code of conduct presentation. Payment of the athletic fee is also needed if applicable. Regarding the athletic fee for the 2017 school year, the OASD athletic fee is $50 per sport, a $100 individual limit per school year, with a $175 family limit per school year. Please note, if you participate in the district's free or reduced meals program and you check the box on the bottom of page 1 of the agreement of parent and athlete form, the athletic fee can be waived. However, you must check that box so that we can check with food service to verify your participation in the district's free and reduced meal program. We ask that all athletic fees are paid as soon as possible, preferably at registration or at the school bank shortly thereafter or shortly after you start participating in your sport. Note on pages 5 and 6, information regarding if a athletic fee would be reimbursed if certain criteria are met. Familiarize yourself with that information. On pages 6 and 8 of the athletic handbook is information regarding academic requirements and academic eligibility. Eligibility for any 9-week period for a student athlete shall be determined by a student's grades from the second grade reporting period of first and second semester and/or the past semester marks, both at first semester and year end. Also, a student must meet school and DPI requirements defining a full-time student and have received no failing grades, including incompletes in the most recent grade reporting period, in order to be eligible. For the start of the school year, we check the second semester grades of students from last year unless they're an incoming freshman. Incoming freshmen start out academically eligible. We will then check grades at the 10-week grade reporting period of first semester, the 10-week grade reporting period of second semester, and second semester grades. Again, a student must have no failing marks in order to be academically eligible, and a student must be a full-time student. Regarding fall student athletes on page 7, in eligibility status for students in fall WIAA offered sports in which the date of earliest allowed competition is before the first day students are in class is as follows. Students with one or more than one failing grade, So for students with more than one failing grade in fall WIAA sports, the minimum ineligibility period shall be the lesser of 21 consecutive calendar days beginning with the date of earliest allowed competition in a sport, or 1/3 of the maximum number of games or meets allowed in a sport, rounded up if 1/3 results in a fraction. Once classes start, students will be required to follow weekly grade academic checks. Students with one failing grade in fall WIAA sports, students shall be ineligible to participate in 1/5 of the scheduled games or meets in a sport, rounded up if 1/5 results in a fraction. However, student athletes in fall sports will be eligible to participate by the WIAA criteria for student athletes with more than one failing grade if the criteria for one failing grade results in a penalty that exceeds the penalty for more than one failing grade. For student athletes that are involved in sports after fall or after the first academic check with the start of the school year, should a student become academically ineligible with one failing grade, he or she may not participate in competitions or performances for a minimum of 7 consecutive school days and nights. The student may return to the competition or performance on the 8th school day, provided the student received at least a 2.5 grade point average in the most recent grade reporting period. If the student had a grade point average of less than 2.5 in the most recent grade reporting period, he or she must come to the activities coordinator's office to get an activities academic eligibility form. This form will list the student's current class load. The student must take the form to all of his or her teachers for signature and return it to the activities coordinator's office. To regain eligibility, the student must be passing in all courses or classes. This procedure of taking the form to the teacher must continue on a weekly basis throughout the season or until the student is no longer academically ineligible. So a student then must be passing every class every week if they are on a weekly grade check. On page 8 of the Co-Curricular Handbook is information regarding academic eligibility with more than one failing grade. So should a student become academically ineligible with more than one failing grade, he or she may not participate in competition or performances for a minimum of 15 consecutive school days and nights while the activity is in session. The student may return to competition or performance on the 16th school day, provided the student is passing all their classes. To regain eligibility, after 15 consecutive school days, the student must pick up the activities academic eligibility form from the activities coordinator. The student must take this form to all of his or her teachers for signature and return it to the activities coordinator's office. To regain eligibility, the student must be passing in all courses. The procedure of taking this form to teachers must continue each week throughout the season or until the student is no longer academically ineligible. The moral of the story here, students, is do the job in the classroom first and foremost. If you are academically ineligible and are required to do a weekly grade check, your eligibility to participate will vary from week to week. You would still be eligible to practice, but would not be eligible to compete unless you are passing each and every one of your classes each and every week if you are under the academic grade check policy. On pages 9 to 10 of the Athletic Department or Co-Curricular Handbook is information regarding illness, out-of-town travel, vacation, and other items. I want to mention the 3 found on this slide. First, regarding illness. Number 5 on page 9, a student must be present at all classes on the day of practice or competition to be eligible to participate. Only permission from school administration or the activities coordinator will permit a student to compete after missing classes. Students may not participate in any competition or performance or practice if they are out ill for any or all of the school day without permission from school administration or the activities coordinator. Please note, if a student is home ill and as a result a parent feels that they will be well enough to come back in the afternoon, we may grant the ability to practice or participate that day if the parent contacts the school in the morning and informs us of the situation. If a student athlete goes home for the second half of the day, they will not be eligible or able to participate in any practice or competition that evening. Out-of-town travel, number 7. A student who travels to an out-of-town contest with a school or team must return with the team. The only exception to this rule is if the student's parent is present at the out-of-town site, he or she may request that the student return with the parent. This request must be made in person by the parent to the coach or advisor in charge, and the parent will also have to sign off on a district form that they are taking their child or children. Each coach will have a copy of the district transportation form with them for events. It is important to note, the coach or advisor has the option whether or not to grant permission. Please note, the parent and the parent only can ask to take their child and their child only with them. The request must be made in person and they must sign the district form. On page 10, number 11 is information about vacations. At the discretion of each coach or advisor, when a student is absent due to being on vacation with his or her family upon returning to the team, that student will not be allowed to participate in competitions equal to 1/2 of the competitions the student missed. If the student is absent due to being on vacation with someone other than his or her family, the student will not be allowed to participate in whatever number of competitions were missed. 1 competition for each competition missed. Note, if a student misses only practices but not competitions due to being on vacation with either family or friends, this may impact playing time for the student upon his or her return from vacation. Students and their parents are encouraged to speak with their coach or advisor as soon as possible if they will miss any part of the season. Please note, number 11, the vacation policy is at the discretion of the coach. So each coach may do things a little differently. On the bottom of page 10 is information about the district-provided transportation. Number 15. Please note the district does not provide transportation for students to any practice sites and some home competition performance sites. In these situations, it is the responsibility of the student or parents and/or legal guardians to provide their own transportation. Please be aware of that. Also note, parents of student athletes, you are responsible for all information found within the district's co-curricular handbook. If you have any questions about anything, please ask Mr. Jadarski, the activities coordinator, or contact me regarding your question. On page 11 is information regarding the district's policy about use of cameras and/or other recording devices in locker rooms. Please review, read, and familiarize yourself with this information. Note, no images of a nude or partially nude person in the locker room may be captured, recorded, or transferred under any circumstance by any individual. On page 12 is information about student-athlete participation in club athletic programs while you're also a high school student-athlete. Number 16, the district understands that students may want to participate in club athletic programs during the school year during their high school sports season. As a result of this, the athletic departments would like to provide some guidance for parents and athletes concerning this issue due to the financial commitment associated with club athletic programs. The athletic departments have adopted the following policy for students and parents concerning club athletic programs during a student's high school sports season. Note, there is a policy for varsity athletes and a policy for non-varsity athletes. In both cases, clear communication with the head coach is required and encouraged. Note, in both cases, students will not be allowed to miss a high school scheduled practice or competition for a club athletic practice or competition, whether it be varsity or non-varsity student athletes. Also on page 12 and continuing on page 13 is information from the WIAA concerning non-school competition for student athletes. It is the philosophy of the WIAA that a student owes loyalty and allegiance to the school and team of which he or she is a member during the season of a given sport. Athletes may compete in not more than 2 non-school competitions with school approval, and that is key, school approval during each regular sports season, and that school approval must be in advance of any non-school participation. The contest or contests will not count against the individual maximum for the athlete in that sport. Non-school competition will not be allowed during the respective WIAA tournament series in a sport. Also note, it will be the school's decision whether or not to grant approval or not to participate. Also, a student becomes ineligible in a sport for the remainder of the season for competing in more than 2 non-school games, meets, or contests in the same sport during the season of practice and competition established by the school. Again, this is a sport-specific rule, meaning if you're in your volleyball season, you cannot participate in a non-school volleyball competition or scrimmage. Same sport is the key here. Again, please communicate with your coach regarding any non-school athletic participation that you as a student athlete want to be involved with. Pages 13 to 15 of the district's co-curricular handbook is found the Code of Conduct section. This is the behavioral section of the district's co-curricular handbook. It is very important that you read and review all of this information as well. The Code of Conduct is established for the best interest of the students and the team or activity. The Code of Conduct must be observed by all students throughout the calendar year, not only when the particular activity is not in season, but also when school is not in session. Please note, in all situations involving possible violations of the Code of Conduct, administrative discretion will determine whether or not there is an actual violation of the Code of Conduct. Student athletes, you were given the ability to think. We want you to make good choices. Please note, think about the decision you are about to make. Will it have an impact on my ability to continue to participate in athletics? If you find yourself in a tough spot, leave. Call a family member, call a friend. Don't be afraid to come forward and share with the activities coordinator, another school administrator, that you were hanging out with friends and this happened and you decided to leave. If you have nothing to hide, please let us know. We are reasonable people, and it makes it so much easier to believe you in that situation or instance than if we call you down to ask you what you were potentially doing at a particular spot when something behaviorally inappropriate was taking place. Note, a student must refrain from any conduct at any time that would reflect unfavorably on himself, herself, or the school. Conduct which would reflect unfavorably on a student or on the school includes, co-curricular handbook, but is not limited to, found the Code of Conduct section, letters A through R. This is the behavioral section of the district's familiarize yourself with those areas. It's very important that you emphasize and review all of this information as well. Use, possession, buying, or selling of controlled substances, for the best interest of the students, illegal drugs, and the team or performance-enhancing substances. The Code of Conduct must be observed by all students throughout the calendar year. Possession or use, not only when the particular activity use, possession, or purchase of alcoholic beverages, but also when school is not in session. C. Please note, in all situations involving tobacco violations of the Code of Conduct, administrative discretion will determine whether or not there is an actual violation of the Code of Conduct. Letter F. Student athletes, criminal offense or a violation of a state statute, we want you to make good choices. Having a statutory Please note, think about the decision you are about to make. Will it have an impact on my ability to continue to participate, even if you're not drinking alcohol, using illegal drugs? If you find yourself in a tough spot, leave. Tobacco or drug family member, call just being present. Don't be afraid to know what's going on is a violation with of the district's Code of Conduct. Activities coordinator, another school administrator, or conduct which reflects hanging out with friends and this happened. A very wide range of options exist under this area. We are reasonable. For example, is the behavior you're involved with easier to believe you a poor reflection on the school or yourself if we call you down to ask you what you were getting an in-school or out-of-school suspension could be construed as violating behavior or conduct which reflects unfavorably on a student. Note, a student are you involved in a behavior that potentially is illegal at any time that would reflect unfavorably illegal or inappropriate use of the internet and or electronic devices, which would reflect unfavorably on a student or via social networking websites, but is not limited which to disrupts either the educational or athletic environment. Letters A is unacceptable. Don't be sending pictures on your cell phone with those areas of individuals that are emphasize a few in particular. Don't be posting things, use, possession, buying, or selling of controlled substances that are inappropriate, that might be illegal drugs, bullying, and or performance-enhancing substances. Don't be sending inappropriate text paraphernalia, including sale, Instagram, possession, or use, etc. B. You will be held accountable for what you post, send via social media, use, possession, if it ends up on a purchase of tobacco in any form. Letter Q, hosting a party. Any person who has a gathering at his or her home, property, or personal property. Letter F, including criminal offense or a violation of a state statute, tobacco, drugs, county ordinance, having a statutory permitted counterpart by such person to be used and or brought knowingly in the presence of alcohol, illegal drugs, personal property, and or drug may be given a penalty at the higher level. Even if you're not drinking alcohol, will determine the length of penalty. That has that. Violating that section, tobacco or drug potential to be a just being present when you know what's going on is a violation bringing of the district's code of conduct. Any person who brings, supplies, alcohol, tobacco, drugs, or drug paraphernalia on a student
to another
A
person
very
or persons
wide
may be given a
range
penalty
of
at a higher
options
level.
exists under this
Administrative
area.
discretion will
For
determine
example,
the length of the penalty.
is the behavior you're
In the
involved
event
with
another
a
individual
poor
engages in
reflection
this
on the
behavior on
school
behalf of
or
the
yourself
athlete,
or your
there will
team?
be a presumption that the
Getting
other
an
individual
in-school or
acted as an
out-of-school
agent of the
suspension
athlete,
could be
and the athlete will
construed
receive
as
the same
violating
punishment
behavior
as
or
if the
conduct which
athlete had
reflects
been the supplier.
unfavorably on a student. Are you involved in a
So,
behavior that
again,
potentially is illegal?
hosting a party, pretty self-explanatory.
Letter P.
Don't be
Illegal
involved
or
with it.
inappropriate use
Supplying
of the
or bringing
internet
alcohol or
and
drugs
or
to another.
electronic devices.
Another possibility of getting a double
communication
consequence.
via
Don't
social
get involved
networking
with it.
websites
Don't ask a cousin.
which
Don't ask
disrupts
an older
either
brother
the
or sister to do
educational
that,
or
a
athletic
parent.
environment
Is unacceptable.
Note on page 15.
Don't be sending
Code of
pictures on
conduct
your
violations
cell phone
are cumulative
of individuals
during a
that are
student's
naked.
high school career.
Don't be posting
unless things,
otherwise stated.
On your website.
As an example,
that
a
are
first-time
inappropriate
offense
that might be
alcohol
construed as bullying
and a first-time
or
offense in
harassment.
tobacco would
Don't be sending
become a
inappropriate
second-time
text messages,
violation of the district's code
Instagram
of conduct
pictures, etc.
in the alcohol tobacco
You will
area.
be held accountable for what you send via social media if it ends up on a school administrator's desk. Note,
Letter
we
Q,
have
hosting
the
a party.
possibility of simultaneous
Any person who has a
category
gathering at his or
consequences.
her home, property, or personal
Students
property
may participate in simultaneous
including carboat
activities.
camp or
However,
campsite,
if
etc.,
a student
where
incurs
alcohol,
a
tobacco,
violation,
drugs, or
he or
drug
she shall be
paraphernalia
penalized according
are
to the code
permitted
for
by
each
such person to
activity
be
used and or brought into
such
the home
as a
property
category A and B,
or personal property
if
may
any
be
or
given
all
a penalty
activity
at the
seasons
higher
are
level.
taking place
Administrative discretion
simultaneously.
will
Be
determine the
aware
length
you
of
could get
penalty
a consequence
that has the in two
violating that
simultaneous
section
activities
has the potential to be a double consequence.
So be aware.
R. Supplying, bringing alcohol or
Note,
drugs. Any
for
person who
penalties
brings, supplies
of the
alcohol,
code of
tobacco,
conduct
drugs, or drug paraphernalia to
violations
another person or persons
on page
may
17,
be given a penalty at a
numbers
higher level.
1 through 9.
Administrative
For
discretion
those
will determine the length
violations
of the penalty.
without a self-referral.
In the event another individual
first-time
engages in this
category
behavior
A
on behalf of
violation
the
is
athlete,
the suspension
there will be a
for
presumption
1/4
that
of the
the other
regular
individual
season
acted as an agent
or
of
the
athlete,
equivalent of 1/4 of
and
the
the
regular
athlete will
season.
receive the same
The student may
punishment
continue to
as if the
practice at the
athlete
discretion
had
of
been the
school
supplier.
administration. The student must also complete a
So,
student assistance
again,
program or similar
hosting a
approved
party
educational
pretty
program
self-explanatory.
in order
Don't
to be
involved with it.
reinstated.
Supplying or
Note,
bringing alcohol
for
or drugs to
first-time
another.
offenders in the
Another
area of
possibility
knowingly
of
in the
getting a
presence
double
of alcohol,
consequence.
illegal
Don't
drugs,
get involved
and/or
with it.
drug
Don't ask a
paraphernalia.
cousin.
There
Don't
is a
ask an older
different
brother or
first
sister to
offense
do that, or a parent.
violation consequence. Note on page 15.
A second violation
Code of
for
conduct
category A,
violations are
which is
cumulative
sports.
during a
Suspension
student's
for an
high
entire
school
season
career
or the
unless
equivalent of an
otherwise
entire
stated.
season.
Third
As an
violation,
example,
a first-time
suspension for
offense
one
in
full
alcohol
school year
and a
or the
first-time
equivalent
offense
of
in
one
tobacco
full school
would
year.
become a
A fourth
second-time
violation
violation
the
of
student
the
loses the
district's
privilege
code of
to
conduct
participate in all
the alcohol
co-curricular
tobacco
activities
area during the remainder of his or her academic career in the district. Note,
On
we
page
have
19,
the possibility of
please note the
simultaneous
definition of
category
a self-referral.
consequences. Honesty is
Students may
rewarded
participate
by
in
the
simultaneous
district.
activities.
A
However,
self-referral is
if
if
a
a
student
student
incurs a
presents
violation,
himself
he or
or
she
herself
shall be penalized
to the
according to the
activities
code
coordinator
for
at
each
his or her
activity
school as a person who has
such as a
violated the code
category
of
A and
conduct
B.
in the areas
If
numbered
any or all
1
activity
through 5
seasons
below
are
taking place simultaneously. Be aware, you could get a
1.
consequence
Use, possession,
in
buying,
two
or selling of
simultaneous
controlled
activities,
substances,
street drugs, illegal drugs, and or performance-enhancing
So
substances.
be aware.
Drug paraphernalia, including sale, possession, or use. 2.
For penalties
Use, possession, or purchase
of
of,
the code of
tobacco in any
conduct,
form. 3. Use,
violations
possession, or purchase of alcoholic
on page
beverages.
17,
Numbers
4.
1 through
Knowingly
9
in the
for
presence
those
of alcohol,
violations
illegal drugs,
without a
and/or drug
self-referral.
paraphernalia.
A
5.
first-time
Acts of
category A
vandalism.
violation is the suspension
Those are areas
for
1
1
through
quarter
5.
of the regular season or the equivalent
So
of
if
1
a
quarter of the
person
regular season.
utilizes a
The student
self-referral
may continue to practice
in one
at
of
the
those areas,
discretion
the
of school
student will have
administration.
his or her penalty
The
reduced.
student must also
For this
complete
to
a
occur,
student
the
assistance
student
program
must
or
self-admit
similar
no
approved
later than the
educational
first
program school day
in order
after the
to be
violation has
reinstated.
occurred, and the information cannot
for
already have
first-time
been shared
offenders
with
in
school
the area of
administration
knowingly in the
from another
presence of
source,
alcohol,
meaning
illegal
the
drugs,
first
and/or
school
drug
day.
paraphernalia.
Weekends
There is a different
don't
first
count.
offense
However,
violation consequence.
if you violate the code, we encourage you to
A
inform
second
a school
violation for
administrator,
category A,
coach, or
which is
activities
sports,
coordinator,
suspension
ASAP.
for an entire season,
Administration
or the equivalent
may
of an
grant
entire
an
season.
extension to the
Third
1 school day
violation,
provision
suspension
due
for
to
one full
extenuating
school year,
circumstances.
or the equivalent of 1 full school year.
Students,
A fourth
and their
violation,
parents are strongly
the student
encouraged to
loses the privilege to
self-report
participate in
violations
all
of the code of
co-curricular
conduct
activities
during the
remainder
summer months to the
of his or
activities
her
coordinator
academic
as soon
career
as
in the
possible.
district.
Again, if you make a bad choice, and violate the code, do the
On
adult
page
thing,
19,
the responsible
please
thing,
note the definition of a
self-report,
self-referral. You get one
honesty
school
is
day,
rewarded,
and we
by
cannot
the
already have been
district.
aware of this
A
situation.
self-referral is if
But
a student
self-report
presents
as himself or
honesty
herself
is rewarded.
to the activities coordinator at his or her school.
On pages
as a
20
person
and
who has
21,
violated the code
here
of
are the
conduct
violations
in the areas numbered 1 through
4
5 below. Code of conduct violations with the self-referral. 1. Use,
Category
possession,
A,
buying, or selling of
suspension
controlled
for
substances,
1
street drugs, illegal drugs, and or
eighth of the
performance
regular
enhancing
season or the
substances,
equivalent of 1/8
drug
of the regular
paraphernalia,
season,
including sale,
the
possession,
student
or
may
use.
continue to
2.
practice at
Use,
the
possession,
discretion
or
of school
purchase of
administration.
tobacco in any form.
The student
3.
must also complete
Use,
a
possession, or
student
purchase
assistance
of
program or
alcoholic beverages.
beverages.
Approved education
4.
program in order to
Knowingly
be
in the
reinstated.
presence
Again,
of
these
alcohol,
are illegal drugs
suspension
and or drug
consequences
paraphernalia. For a
5.
first violation
Vandalism.
with a self-referral. Those are areas 1
Note,
through 5. For first-time offenders in the
So
area
if a
of knowingly
person
present, utilizes a self-referral, knowingly in the presence of alcohol,
in one of
illegal
those
drugs,
areas,
and
the
or drug
student will
paraphernalia,
have his or her
there
penalty
is a
reduced.
different
For this to
consequence
occur,
for a first
the
violation.
student must
self-admit no later
with
than
a
the first
self-referral
school day
and a
after the
self-referral
violation
for a
has occurred,
Category A violation.
and the information cannot
where
already have
you
been
are
shared with school
using
administration
potentially
from another source, meaning
one
the
of those
first school day.
alcohol, tobacco,
Weekends
illegal drugs,
don't count.
drug
However,
paraphernalia.
if you violate the code, we encourage you to inform a
second
school
violation
administrator,
with a
coach,
self-referral,
or
again,
activities
that refers to
coordinator
areas 1 through
ASAP.
5. As I mentioned,
Administration
on
may
pages
grant
19
an
and 20,
extension to the
the
one
second
school day
violation for a
provision
Category A
due to
activity is
extenuating
suspension
circumstances. For 50% of the season,
Students
or the equivalent of 50%
and their parents are
strongly
with the
encouraged to
following requirements. 1,
self-report violations of the
20-hour
code of
community
conduct
service plan
during the
and
summer
2, meeting
months
with
to
the
the
high school
activities
social
coordinator
worker or
as
the
soon as
district's
possible.
ATODA
Again, if you make a
coordinator
bad
and
choice
following through with
and
any
violate the
recommended
code,
course
do
of
the
action.
adult thing, the responsible thing.
For a third
self-report,
you
with a
get one
self-referral,
school day,
Category A,
and we
suspension
cannot
will be for
already have
one
been
full
aware of
school
this
year.
situation.
Fourth violation,
But
the student
self-report
loses
as
the privilege
honesty
to participate
is
in all
rewarded.
co-curricular activities during the
On
remainder
pages 20
of
and
his or her
21,
academic
here are the
career in
violations
the district.
4.
Note,
Code of
on
conduct
pages
violations with the
21
self-referral.
and 22,
Category A, suspension
items number
for
10
1
through 14 are code of
eighth
conduct
of the regular
violations
season
that
or
are
the equivalent of
cumulative
1/8
within
of the regular
themselves
season.
only. The student may continue
10.
to practice
Criminal
at the
offense or a
discretion
violation
of
of
school
a city, county
administration.
ordinance.
The student
having
must
a
also
statutory
complete a
counterpart.
student assistance program.
The
or
significance
similar
of the
approved
violation
education
will be
program
evaluated
in order to be
and the
reinstated.
suspension will
Again,
be
these
determined
are
based on the severity
suspension
of the offense.
consequences.
Offense
For
number
a first
11,
violation
acts of
with a
harassment,
self-referral,
including hazing.
Note,
Harassment and hazing
for
has
first-time
no
offenders
place
in the area
in
of
the
knowingly
athletic
present,
area.
knowingly in the
Student
presence of
athletes are
alcohol, illegal
encouraged to
drugs, and or drug
report any
paraphernalia.
hazing or harassment
There is
to a
a
coach or
different
administrator
consequence
as
for
soon as
first
possible.
violation
We challenge all
with a
student athletes
self-referral
to set
and a
the example,
self-referral for a
model
Category A
the Wildcat
violation,
way,
where
and
you
not
are
be involved
using
in that type of
potentially
activity at all.
one of those
On page
alcohol,
21,
tobacco, illegal
number
drugs,
12,
violation
drug
of student
paraphernalia.
rules as described in the student school
A second
planner. Violation with a
The significance of
self-referral
the violation
violation will be
refers to areas
evaluated.
1 through
And
5.
suspension will
As
be
I
determined
mentioned
based on the
on
severity
pages
of the
19 and
offense.
20. A second
13,
violation
the
for
recruitment of
Category
student
A
athletes
activity is
is a violation
suspension
of
for
the
50% of the
district's
season
code of conduct,
or the equivalent of 50%
and
of the
14,
season.
illegal
with
or
the following
inappropriate
requirements.
use of
1,
the internet
a
and or
20-hour
electronic
community
devices.
service plan.
Any posting
And 2,
or
meeting with the high
communication
school
via
social
social
worker or
networking
the district's
websites
ATODA
which disrupts either the
coordinator
educational
and following
or
through with
athletic
any
environment
recommended
is
course of
unacceptable
action and is a violation of the
for a
district's
third
code of
violation
conduct.
with a self-referral. Category A, suspension will be
On
for
pages
1 full school
22
year.
and 23
Fourth violation
are other
the student
items
loses the
that are
privilege
considered
to participate
behavioral
in all
offenses,
co-curricular
which
activities
also go
during
with
the
it
remainder
the loss
his
of
or her
participation
academic
privileges
career in the
in
district.
athletics.
These are considered more
Minor
on pages
code of conduct
21
violations, but
and
they are still
22.
violations. Please
Items number
familiarize
10
yourself
through 14 with items
our
number
code of
1
conduct
through 8.
violations
I want to
that are
mention
cumulative
a couple
within
in particular.
themselves only.
Number 4, acts of truancy.
10, criminal offense or a
A
violation of a
student
city,
participating
county
in
ordinance
activities or
having
athletics
a
will not be
statutory
permitted to
counterpart.
participate. The
And the next
significance of the
scheduled contest
violation
whenever
will be
the student has had
evaluated,
an unexcused
and the
absence
suspension
from
will be
school
determined based on the
unless
severity of the
administration
offense.
grants permission to
Offense.
participate.
Number 11,
Students, you are a
acts of
student first
harassment,
and foremost.
including
You need to
hazing.
be in class. If you're
Harassment
not in
and
class,
hazing
has no place due to being
in the
unexcused.
athletic
There will be
area.
a consequence for you, and that
Student
is
athletes
not being
are
able
encouraged to
participate.
report any hazing or harassment to
Number
a coach
5,
or administrator
behavioral
as soon
conduct
as
which
possible.
reflects unfavorably
We
on
challenge
the
all
student.
student
I
athletes obviously covered that
to
earlier
set
in
the
this
example,
presentation.
model
6,
the
cheating.
Wildcat
A
way,
first offense
and
during
not
one's
be
high school
involved in
career.
that type of
The
activity
teacher
at
involved will
all.
handle the situation in the classroom
On
and will
page
make contact
21,
with the activities
Number
coordinator.
12,
Violation
which
of
is
student
basically
rules
then a warning.
as described
2,
in the student
second offense
school
during
planner.
one's high school career and any
The
additional
significance
offenses,
of the violation will
the
be
student will
evaluated,
be referred to the
and the
activities
suspension
coordinator
will be
for a
determined based on the
behavioral
severity
offense
of the offense.
or code of conduct violation.
13. The recruitment of student athletes.
Note, for
is a
any first
violation of
offense found to be
the district's
especially
code of
serious,
conduct.
administration
And
reserves the
14,
right to
illegal
invoke
or
a second
inappropriate
offense
use of the
consequence.
internet and or
Again, talk
electronic
with your
devices.
teacher so you
Any
are
posting
crystal
or
clear
communication via social
regarding the
networking
expectations
websites
regarding
which
homework and
disrupts
group work,
either the educational
regarding
or athletic environment
testing and the
is
sharing of
unacceptable
information,
and is a
group
violation
assignments.
of the
Also,
district's code of conduct.
You're better off, students, if you procrastinate and let
On
your
pages
homework
22 and
or
23
paper or test or
are
studying for
other
test go, you're
items
better
that are
to
considered
just take the grade you
behavioral
got than to
offenses,
try to cheat,
which also
because you
go
will
with
get
it
caught and
the
suffer
loss
a
of
consequence.
participation privileges
In athletics. Again, use
These
your
are
time
considered
wisely,
more
prepare yourself to
minor
be
code of
successful
conduct
in the
violations,
classroom,
but
but they are still violations.
Number 8, failure to be a student
Please
in good familiarize
standing.
yourself with
As
items
defined
number 1
as
through
you
8.
adhere
I
to the
want to
high
mention
school code of
a couple in
conduct.
particular.
We
Number
adhere to your
4,
high school
acts of
attendance and tardy
truancy.
policies,
And you have
a
no
student
unserved
participating in
detentions.
activities or
If you
athletics
have
will not be
detentions at
permitted
or
to
checkpoints,
participate. It can
in
result
the next scheduled contest,
in
whenever
losing
the
the
student has had
privilege
an
or ability to
unexcused absence from
participate
school
in
unless
contests
administration
until those
grants
detentions are
permission to
gone.
participate. Checkpoints for the
Students, you are a student
2017-18
first and
school year
foremost. You need to be in class.
October
If you're
2nd,
not in
the
class,
start of each winter season,
due to being unexcused, there will be a
January 8th,
consequence for you,
the
and
start
that
of
is
each
not
spring
being able
sports
to
season,
participate.
and April 16th. Number 5,
Only administrative
behavioral
approval will
conduct
allow a
which
student to
reflects
compete in
unfavorably on a
co-curricular
student.
events
I
if
previously
a
covered that
student is
earlier
not
in
a
this
student in good
presentation.
standing at each
6,
checkpoint.
cheating. A first offense during one's high school
Also,
career.
student athletes, please
The teacher
note,
involved will
the
handle the
minimum
situation in
penalty
the classroom and will
for
make
a
contact
code of
with the
conduct
activities
violation,
coordinator.
which is basically then a warning.
2, second offense during one's high
For
school career and any
Any
additional
behavioral
offenses,
offense,
the student
that will be
results
referred to the
or code of
activities
conduct
coordinator
violation
for a behavioral
that
offense
results in a student
or
athlete
code of
being
conduct
suspended
violation.
for any portion of the WIAA
Note, for any
tournament
first
competition
offense found
is
to be especially
immediate
serious,
disqualification.
administration
of the
reserves the
student
right
athlete
for
to
the
invoke a
remainder
second
of
offense
the
consequence.
total
tournament
Again,
series
talk with
in
your
that
teacher
sport.
so you are crystal
Please
clear
be aware of that as well.
regarding
Again,
the expectations
students, you
regarding
have the
homework
ability
and
to make
group work.
choices.
Please
regarding
make good choices.
testing and the sharing
Remember,
of information.
every choice
and
you
group
make
assignments.
has a consequence.
Also, you're better
if
off,
you lose
students,
the ability
if you
to participate,
procrastinate
that
and
opportunity
let your homework
will not come
or
back.
paper or
Again,
test
if you
or
find
studying
yourself
for
in
test
a
go, you're
jam,
better to just take the
contact
grade
a
you got
family or
and to try to
friend,
cheat,
leave.
because you will
Let
get
us
caught
know
and suffer a consequence.
that you left. Come forward.
Again,
If you have nothing
use
to
your
hide, we
time
are
wisely,
reasonable
prepare
people.
yourself to be
Let
successful
us know what happened
in the
We
classroom.
will work through you with that.
Number
Again,
8, failure to be a
please
student
make
in
good
good standing.
choices. Don't put
That
yourself
is defined
in
as
a
you
jam.
adhere to the high school code of student conduct. The district's
To adhere to your
appeal
high school
process
attendance
for
and
code
tardy
of conduct
policies,
violations is
and
found
you have no
on page
unserved
25.
detentions.
If you have detentions at our
The
checkpoints, it can
OASD
result
administration is committed to
in
providing
losing the
students an
privilege or
opportunity
ability
to
to
appeal
participate
any
in
co-curricular
contests
code of
until those
conduct
detentions are
violation
gone.
determination.
Checkpoints for the 2017-18
Any
school year
situation where we
include
found the student
October
athlete to have
2nd,
violated the code of
the start
conduct.
of each winter season,
Note the appeal process,
January
which
8th,
is found on page
the start of each
25
spring
and
sports
26.
season, and
I want to
April
emphasize
16th.
something under number 2.
Only administrative approval
Appeals
will allow
may
a student to
be
compete
filed
in co-curricular
only in
events
reference to
if
whether
a
there was a
student
code
is not a
violation or
student in
not.
good standing at each
An appeal
checkpoint.
may not be filed to change a consequence.
Also, student athletes, please note the minimum penalty on
For a
pages
code of
26
conduct
and 27
violation
is information found regarding the district provided awards. For note to
Any
qualify for
behavioral
an award
offense,
that
the
results
athlete
or
or
code of
student may
conduct
not be
violation
suspended for any
that
alcohol,
results in a
tobacco,
student
drugs,
athlete being suspended
drug
for any
paraphernalia,
portion
performance enhancing
of the
substance,
WIAA
vandalism,
tournament competition
criminal
is
offense or
immediate
violation of a city county ordinance
disqualification
having a
of the
statutory
student
counterpart
athlete for the remainder
or other
of
serious
the
offense
total
considered
tournament
unbecoming
series
of
in
a
that
student
sport
or athlete.
However,
Please be aware
if
of
an
that as
athlete or
well.
student
Again,
refers to the
students,
activities
you have the ability
coordinator
to make
for a
choices.
first-time
Please
offense
make good
in
choices.
the area of either alcohol,
Remember,
tobacco, drugs,
every
drug
choice you make
paraphernalia,
has a consequence.
performance-enhancing substance,
If you
vandalism,
lose the ability
and
to
possibly
participate,
criminal offense
that
or
opportunity
violation of a
will
city
not
county
come
ordinance
back.
have a statute
Again,
having
if you
a
find
statutory
yourself in a
counterpart,
jam,
the athlete or
contact a
student
family or
may
friend,
be eligible to receive
leave.
any school
Let
award
us
earned
know
during that
that
season.
you left.
Again,
Come
honesty
forward. If you
is
have nothing
rewarded.
to hide, we are reasonable people.
Please note the district's
us know what happened.
all-conference guideline.
We will work
Again,
through you with
varsity
that.
student
Again,
athletes.
Please
Any
make good
OASD
choices.
student athlete
Don't put
suspended
yourself
from
in a
participation
jam.
for an athletic contest due
The
to a code
district's
of conduct
appeal
violation
process for code of
in the
conduct
areas of
violations
alcohol,
is found on
tobacco,
page
drugs,
25.
drug paraphernalia, performance
The
enhancing substance,
OASD
vandalism,
administration is committed to
criminal
providing
offense or
students an
violation of a
opportunity
city,
to
county
appeal
ordinance having a
any
statutory counterpart,
co-curricular code of
or
conduct
other serious
violation
offense considered
determinations,
unbecoming of a student
meaning
athlete
any
will
situation
not
where we
be
found a
eligible
student
for all
athlete to have
conference
violated the code
in
of
any
conduct.
conference in the sport
Note the appeal
where
process,
the suspension is
which
initiated.
is found on page
Again, hopefully
25 and
another
26. I want to
deterrent
emphasize something under
to
number
making,
2.
not making a poor
Appeals
choice.
may also
be
if you are
filed
very
only in reference to
skilled
whether
and
there was a
gifted
code
student athlete.
violation or
Remember,
not. If you're not
an
eligible
appeal
for all
may not be
conference,
filed
you're not
to
eligible
change
for
a
all
consequence.
regions, which means you're not eligible for all state, which means you
On
might not
pages
be eligible to
26 and
participate
27 is
in an
information
all-star
found
contest
regarding
for your
the
sport.
district provided
Again,
awards.
we want you to make
good
to qualify
choices.
for an award. The athlete
On
or
page
student may not be
28 is the
suspended
district's
for any alcohol,
communication
tobacco,
policy.
drugs, drug paraphernalia.
the activities
performance
department
enhancing substance, vandalism,
encourages students,
criminal
parents, and
offense or
coaches and
violation of a
advisors
city, county ordinance
to
having
open
a
the line
statutory
of
counterpart
communication
or other
using
serious
the
offense
following
considered
understandings, and they are
unbecoming of
listed
a student
and
or
numbered
athlete.
1 through 10.
However, if an athlete or student refers
Please note,
to the
negative
activities
approaches to
coordinator
problem solving
for a first-time
do nothing
offense, but make
in
the
the area of either
environment
alcohol,
for
tobacco,
all
drugs,
more
drug
destructive.
paraphernalia.
Performance
Oshkosh
enhancing
West's
substance,
position is we
vandalism,
encourage
and
your
possibly
student athlete
criminal offense
to have a
for
conversation
violation
with
of
their
a city,
coach
county
if they have
ordinance
questions or
having a
concerns
statutory
about
counterpart.
anything
The athlete
relating
or
to their
student
involvement in that
may
program.
be eligible to receive
If
any
a
school
parent
award
or
earned
student athlete
during
asks
that
an
season.
administrator to have a meeting,
Again,
the
honesty
first question will
is
ask is,
rewarded.
have you had that conversation
Please
first
note the
with
district's
coach?
all
If
conference
not,
guideline.
that is where
Again,
you'll be
varsity
directed.
student athletes.
If after that
Any
meeting takes
OASD
place, you
student
still have
athlete
questions or
suspended from
concerns, the
participation
coach and
or
administrator
an athletic
and the parent
contest
and or student
due to
athlete
a
will
code
all
of
sit
conduct
down
violation
to try to
in
work
the areas
to
of
an
alcohol,
amicable and
tobacco,
agreeable
drugs,
solution
drug
to
paraphernalia,
any issue that
performance
is brought
enhancing
forward.
substance, vandalism, criminal offense or violation of a city, county ordinance
On
having a
pages
statutory
28 and
counterpart
29 is information
or other
regarding the
serious
district's
offense
sportsmanship
considered unbecoming of a student
expectations.
athlete.
Again,
will
we ask
not
all student
be
athletes
eligible
and
for all
fans
conference
to be
in any
excellent
conference in
role
the sport
models and
where the
ambassadors
suspension is
for
initiated.
Oshkosh West
Again,
High School,
hopefully another
the Oshkosh Area School District, and the
deterrent
city of Oshkosh.
to making
Remember,
not making
be
a
humble
poor
in
choice.
defeat. Also, if you are
You're
a
humble in
very,
victory
very
and humble in
skilled
defeat.
and gifted student athlete, remember,
on
if you're
page
not eligible
29,
for all conference,
for
you're
spectators,
not eligible for all
one
region,
sentence sums
which
it
means
up
you're
the
not eligible
best.
for all
Be
state,
a fan,
which means you might not be
not a
eligible
fanatic.
to participate in an all-star contest
On
for
page
your
30
sport.
are additional
Again,
resources
we
available
want you to make
for student
good
athletes
choices.
and parents. Again, I strongly encourage
On page
all
28
parents
is
to
the district's
bookmark
communication
and students
policy.
the Fox Valley Association
activities department
website.
From that
Encourages
webpage,
students,
you can
parents and coaches and advisors
print any schedule
open the line
for any of the sports we
communication
have. You can
using
sign
the
up for
following
free
understandings,
notifications
and they are
under the
listed
Notify Me
and
area.
numbered 1 through 10.
Those directions are found on page 30 of the handbook.
Please note,
You can
negative
get
approaches
email
to
and-
problem
or
solving
text
do
messages for
nothing
any
but make the
cancellations or
environment for
reschedules
all
more
more
destructive.
service. Also,
Oshkosh West's
the
position
FBA
is
has
we
a
encourage
website,
your student
it's
athlete
FBAsports.net,
to have a
where you can
conversation
find
with
a
their
wealth
coach
of
if they have
information
questions or
regarding all of the
concerns
sports in our
about anything
conference
relating to their
and all of the
involvement in that
schools in
program.
our conference.
If a parent
Also,
or
I
student
encourage
athlete asks an
parents and
administrator
students to
have a
follow me
meeting,
on Twitter.
the first
I do
question
like to
we'll ask
tweet
is,
all the
have
good
you had
things that are going
conversation
on and
first
updates
with
to
the
our
coach?
competitions.
If not,
throughout
that
the
is
course
where
of the
you'll be
school year.
directed.
You can
If after
follow
that
me
meeting
at
takes place, you still have
OWHS
questions or
activities.
concerns, the coach and
One final
administrator
note for
and the
parents
parent
and
and or
students.
student athlete
On
will
the
all
bottom of
sit
page
down
30,
to try to work
a
to
notice
an
of
amicable
surveillance.
and agreeable
The school is
solution
using
to
video
any
surveillance
issue
and
that is
electronic
brought forward.
monitoring to observe, monitor, and or record the behavior and
On
activity
pages
of all
28 and
persons
29
on
is
school
information
property or
regarding the
grounds
district's
or
sportsmanship
participating in
expectations.
school functions.
Again, we ask all student athletes and fans to be excellent role models and ambassadors. Now I'm going to ask you to go
Oshkosh
to the
West High School,
appendix, the Oshkosh
section
Area School District
of the
and
Co-Curricular
city
Handbook.
of Oshkosh. Remember,
After page 30,
be
you'll note
humble in
eligibility,
defeat, or humble in
information
victory,
for
and
athletes.
humble in defeat.
Note the things that would make
Note
you
on
not
page
eligible.
29. For
Also
spectators,
on
one sentence
the
sums
next
it up
page
the
is the
best. Be a fan,
2017-18 high school
not a fanatic.
athletic eligibility information bulletin from the
On
WIAA.
page 30 are additional
strongly
resources
encourage
available
parents and
for
student athletes
and
to read
parents.
all of the information
Again, I
found
strongly
within the high school
encourage all
eligibility
parents
bulletin.
to
bookmark
This is information that you
the
need
Fox
to know
Valley Association
from the WIAA that's
website.
important
From
so
that
that you
webpage, you
stay
can
eligible. Print any schedule
Note, at
for
the
any
bottom
of the sports we
of
have. You can sign up for free
page
notifications
4,
under
there's
the
an area that
Notify
says
Me
parent
area.
athlete rules of
Those Eligibility
directions are
sign
found
off
on
for
page 30 of the
17-18.
handbook. You do
You can
not
get
have to
email
turn
and-
that
or
in.
text messages
When you
for
sign
any
and date
cancellations
the
or
high school
reschedules.
agreement of
It's a
parent and
free
athlete
service.
form,
or the student athlete
also
agreement of
the
parent and
FEA
athlete form,
has a
which is the
website.
green sheet
It's
this year.
feasports.net,
You are taking
where
care
you
of
can
this
find a
requirement.
wealth
of information
So I'd
regarding
like to
all
start
of the sports in our
in the high
conference
school athletic
and all the
eligibility
schools
information
in our
bulletin
conference.
on the first page under
Also, I
age.
encourage
A
parents and
student
students
shall
to
be
follow me on
ineligible for
Twitter.
interscholastic
I do like to tweet
competition
all the good
if
things
he or
that are
she
going on
reaches
and
his or her
updates to our
19th birthday
competitions
before
throughout the course
August
of the
1st
school
of
year.
any given school year.
You can follow me
Note
at
that.
OWHS
Also note,
activities.
I'm going to cover some of
One
the areas
final
that I
note
think
for
are very,
parents
very
and
important.
students.
On the
Parents
bottom
and
of page
students are
30,
responsible for
a
all of
notice
this
of
information.
surveillance. The school
Regarding
is
residents,
using video surveillance and
Again, on the
electronic
bottom of
monitoring
page 1 of
to
the bulletin.
observe
A full-time
monitor,
student
and
or
or
record
an
the
adult or
behavior
not
and
is
activity of
eligible
all
for
persons
varsity
on school
interscholastic
property or grounds
competition
or
only at the
participating
school within
in
whose
school
attendance
functions.
boundaries his or her parents reside within a given school district. Note the additional provisions. A
Now I'm going to ask you
through
to go
J.
to the appendix
section on the
of the
second page of the
co-curricular
bulletin.
handbook under
After page 30,
transfers.
you'll note
A
eligibility.
full-time student may be
information
afforded
for athletes
up to 8
Note the
consecutive
things that would
semesters
make
of
you
interscholastic
not
eligibility
upon entry into
Also
grade 9.
on transferring schools
The
at
next
any
page
time
is
may
the
result in restrictions being imposed
2017-18
on
high
eligibility
school
or in some
athletic
cases denial of
eligibility
eligibility.
information bulletin
The
from the
purpose of this rule,
WIAA. Attendance
I
at one day of
strongly
school
encourage parents and student
and/or
athletes
attendance at one
to
athletic
read all the
practice shall
information found
determine
within the high
beginning
school
of the school
eligibility
year.
bulletin.
These
This is
additional
information that you need to
provisions
know
relate to transfer
from the
cases.
WIA
Note
that's
A
important
through G.
so that you stay eligible.
And on the next page,
Note
H
at the
through
bottom
M.
of
I want to emphasize a couple in particular.
page
A,
4,
there's an
a
area that
student who
says parent
transfers
athlete
from
rules
any
of
school
eligibility
into a
sign
member
off
school
for
after the
17-18.
6th
You do
consecutive
not have to turn that in.
semester
When you
following
sign
entry
and
into grade 9
date
shall
the
be
high school
ineligible for
agreement of
competition
parent
at
and
any
athlete
level
form
for
for the
one
student
calendar
athlete
year,
parent
but may
agreement of parent and
practice
athlete form
unless
which is
the
the green sheet this
transfers made
year.
necessary
You are taking
by
care
a
of this
total and
requirement.
complete change in residence.
So
by
I'd like
the
to
parent.
start in the high
calendar
school
year,
athletic
365
eligibility
days will
information
be
bulletin
determined
on
from
the
a student's
first page
first day of
under
attendance
age.
at the
A
new
student
school.
shall be ineligible for interscholastic
Letter
competition
B, open enrolled
if
and or
he or she
tuition paying
reaches his or
students
her
entering
19th
9th
birthday
and or 10th grade
before August
at the
1st
beginning
of
of
any
the
given
school year,
and who are within the
Note
first
that.
4 consecutive
Also note,
semesters
I'm
of
going
high
to
school
cover some of the
will be
areas that I
afforded
think are very,
unrestricted
very important.
eligibility
Parents and
provided
student
all
athletes
their
are
rules
responsible
governing
for
student
all of this
eligibility are
information.
met. C.
Regarding
Open
residents,
enrolled and or tuition paying students
again on
entering
the bottom
11th
of
grade
page 1 of the
are
bulletin,
restricted
a
to
full-time
non-varsity
student, whether
opportunities
an adult or
for
not,
one calendar
is
year.
eligible for varsity
D.
interscholastic
Open enrolled and
competition
or tuition paying
only
students
at the
entering
school
12th
within
grade
whose attendance
as
boundaries
transfer
his
students
or her
are
parents
ineligible to
reside
compete at any
within
level
a given school
for
district.
one calendar year, but
Note
may
the additional
practice.
provisions,
A through J. On the second page of the bulletin, under transfers, on
a
the
full-time
third
student
page
may
of the
be
bulletin,
afforded
H.
up to 8
District
consecutive
policies
semesters
with
of
respect to
interscholastic
intra-district
eligibility
transfer
upon entry into
do
grade
not
9.
supersede
Transferring
WIA
schools at
transfer
any
rules
time may
in
result in
situations
restrictions being
involving
involved in
eligibility
post-6
or in
semester
some cases
transfers.
denial of eligibility.
Intra-district
The
transfers
purpose of this
occurring
rule,
after the 6th
attendance at one
consecutive
day of
semester
school
following entry
and/or
into grade
attendance at
9
one
result
athletic
in the student
practice
being
shall
ineligible for
determine
competition
beginning of the school year.
at any level for one
These
calendar
additional
year,
provisions
365
relate to
days
transfer
beginning with the
cases.
first day of
Note
attendance
A
at the
through
new
G.
school, but they may practice.
And on the next page,
Again,
H
we are a
through M.
multi-district
I
high
want to
school,
emphasize a couple
so
in
that rule does
particular.
apply. Again,
A
if you are
student who
considering
transfers from any
transferring
school
schools
at
into
any
a member
time,
school
I
after
strongly
the
encourage
6th
you to
consecutive
talk with me,
semester,
Mr. Judarski,
following
so I can
entry into
provide you
grade
with
9
as
shall
much
be
information as
ineligible for
possible.
competition at any level
Note on the middle of
for
page
one
3 of the
calendar year,
bulletin.
but may practice
Training and conduct.
unless the
A
transfers
student
made
athlete
necessary
must follow
by a
his
total
or her
and
school's
complete change
code
in
of
residence
conduct or
by the
training
parent.
rules on a year-round
The
basis.
calendar year,
Note,
365
A through
days
H.
will be
I
determined
want to
from a
particularly
student's
mention
first day of
D.
attendance
A
at the new
student
school.
athlete who violates any part of the school or
Letter B,
WIAA's
open
code
enrolled
of
and or
conduct,
tuition paying
resulting
students
in
entering
suspension
9th
for
and
any
or 10th
portion
grade
at the
of
beginning of the school year and
WIAA-sponsored
who are
tournament
within the first
competition
4
must be
consecutive semesters of
immediately
high
declared
school
ineligible
will
for
be
the remainder
afforded
of the tournament
unrestricted
series in that sport.
eligibility provided all their
During
rules
the WIA
governing student
tournament,
eligibility are met.
ineligible athlete
C.
may not
Open enrolled
suit
and or
up.
tuition paying students entering 11th
On the
grade
bottom of
are
3,
restricted to
page 3 of the bulletin,
non-varsity
top of page 4 is
is information about
calendar year.
amateur status.
D.
Please
Open
make
enrolled
sure
and/or tuition-paying
you read
students entering 12th
all
grade
areas
as transfer
lettered
students
A
are ineligible to
through E.
compete at any level for
Note, a
one
student
calendar
athlete
year but
must
may
be an
practice.
amateur in all recognized sports of this association in order to compete in any WIAA sport. Letter A student athlete
the
may not
Third
accept,
page of the bulletin.
receive, or
H.
direct to another
District policies
reimbursement
with
in any
respect to
form of
intra-district
salary,
transfer
cash, or
Do
share
not
of a game or
supersede
season
WIAA
proceeds
transfer
for
rules
athletic
in
accomplishments
situations
such as
involving
being on a winning team,
post-sixth semester
being selected
transfers,
for the school varsity team,
intra-district
or being a
transfers
place
occurring
winner in
after
an
the sixth
individual
consecutive
tournament,
semester
etc.
following entry into grade 9
For
result in the
examples,
student being
B,
ineligible for
a student
competition
athlete, this
at
is
any
new,
level for
may
one
receive
calendar
a
year,
medal,
cup, trophy, or
365 days
plaque from
beginning
the
with the first day of
sponsoring
attendance at the
organization, new school,
regardless of
but
cost,
they may practice.
Again, we are
School
a
mementos
multi-district
valued
high school.
not more than
So
$200.
that rule does apply.
Again, if you are
An award
considering
not
transferring
valued more
schools
than
at any
100
time,
retail
I strongly
for
encourage you to
participation in an
talk
athletic
with
contest
me, Mr. Jadarski,
in a
so I
WIAA
can provide
recognized
you
sport.
with as much information as possible.
A student athlete,
Note on the middle
may
of page 3
retain
of the bulletin,
non-school
training and
competition
conduct.
apparel worn
A
by the
student
student
athlete
as part
must
of the
follow
team
his or her
uniform.
school's
Again,
code
it
of
must
conduct or
be
training rules
the team
on
uniform
a year-round
not
basis.
the warm-up,
Note A through
not a
H.
hat,
I want to
but
particularly
the
mention
team
D.
uniform.
A student
that is new.
athlete
Letter
who
B is new.
violates any part
Letter
of the
C.
school or
A student
WIAA's
athlete
code
may
of
not
conduct
receive compensation
resulting
or
in
benefit
suspension
directly
for
or
any
indirectly
portion
for the use of
of
name, picture, and or
WIAA
personal
sponsored
appearance
tournament
as an
competition
athlete
must be
because of
immediately
ability,
declared
potential, and or
ineligible
performance
for the
as an
remainder of
athlete.
the tournament series
This
in that
includes
sport.
receiving free or reduced rates on
During the
equipment,
WIAA
apparel,
tournament and camps, clinics,
ineligible
instruction,
athlete may
and
not
competitive
suit up.
opportunities that are not identical for
On
any
the
other
bottom of
interested
3,
students. Page
meaning
3 of the bulletin,
you
top of
could
page
get
4 is
a
information
discount
about
on
amateur
track
status.
shoes
Please,
just as a track
make sure
athlete.
that
You
discount would
read
have to be available
all
to
areas,
any interested high school
letters
student.
A through E.
Also, student athletes and parents,
Note, a
please do
student
not
athlete
let
must be an
an
amateur
organization
in all
or
recognized
business
sports
use
of this
your name
association
or
in order
photo,
to compete in
likeness,
any WIAA
etc.
sport.
in any
Letter A student
in
athlete
any way
may
that
not
would be used
accept,
to promote
receive,
that
or direct to
organization or
another
business.
reimbursement in any form.
Letter D,
of
a student
salary,
athlete
cash,
may not be
or share
identified
of a
with
game
or
or
without
season
permission
proceeds
as an athlete.
for athletic
Provide
accomplishments
endorsements
such
such
as
being
or
on a
appear as
winning
an
team,
athlete in the
being
promotion of a
selected for the
commercial
school varsity team,
advertisement
or being
and/or
a place
profit-making
winner in an
event,
individual
item, plan, or
tournament,
service, etc.
Again, I previously mentioned that.
Or examples.
And on the top of
B,
page 4 of the
a
bulletin,
student
E,
athlete, this is
a
new,
student athlete may not
receive a
participate
medal,
in school
cup,
athletics
trophy,
or
or
in sports
plaque
activities
from the
outside the
sponsoring
school
organization
under a name other than his
regardless
or
of
own.
cost.
Again, amateur status
School
violations
mementos
are
valued
very, very
not more than
significant
$200
and can result in
an award
the
not
the
valued
loss
more than
of
100
athletic
retail
participation for a significant
participation
amount of
in an
time
athletic
or for a
contest
student
in
athlete's
a
entire high
WIAA
school
recognized
career.
sport.
When in doubt, don't take
A student
anything.
athlete
Don't let somebody use
May
your
retain
name,
non-school
your likeness, a picture of
competition
you.
apparel worn by the
Ask
student as
the
part of the
activities
team
coordinator.
uniform.
I'm here
Again,
to help
it
you in
must
any way,
be
shape, or form.
the team uniform.
Again,
not the
familiarize
warm-up,
yourself with A, B, C, D,
not a
and
hat,
E.
but the team uniform.
Sports activities outside
Again,
of
that is new.
school.
Letter B is new.
On page
Letter
4 of the
C,
bulletin,
a student
athletes
athletes
may not
compete
receive
in not more than
compensation
two
or benefit
non-school
directly or indirectly
competitions for
with
the use of
school
name,
approval,
picture,
and that's
and/or
prior
personal
school
appearance
approval
as an
before
athlete
competing
because of
during
ability,
each regular sports
potential,
season.
and/or performance
The
as an
contest
athlete.
will not count
This
against the
includes
individual
receiving free
maximum
reduced
for the
rates on
athlete in that
equipment,
sport.
apparel, camps, clinics,
Non-school
instruction,
competition will
and
not be
competitive
allowed during the
opportunities that are not
respective
identical
WIAA tournament
for
series
any other
of the sport.
interested students.
Violations of this
You
rule
couldn't get
results
a
in
discount
loss
on
of
track
eligibility for the
shoes
remainder of the season,
just as a track
including
athlete.
the WIAA
That discount
would have to be
series.
available to
Note
any
all of the
interested high school
information
student.
found under A, B,
Also,
C, D,
student
E,
athletes
and
and
F.
parents, please
I
do
wanna
not
mention
let
a couple in
an
particular.
organization,
A, or business use
WIAA
your
rules
name
do not
or
prevent
photo,
athletes from practicing
likeness,
with non-school
etc.
teams in any
or from receiving private
any
skill
way that would be
instruction
used to
during
promote
the school
that
season.
organization or
However,
business.
they may not participate officially
Letter D, a
or
student athlete
unofficially
may not be
in
identified
more than
with
two
or without
non-school
permission as an
competitions or
athlete.
practices,
Provide endorsement
including
as an athlete,
scrimmages
or
against
appear
other
as an
teams.
athlete in the promotion of a commercial
Note,
advertisement.
if you are
and/or
practicing in a
profit-making event,
non-school
item, plan,
program or
service.
participating,
Again, I
please talk
previously
with the
mentioned
coach of your high
And on the
school
top
season
of page 4 of the bulletin,
because of the
E,
club sport
a
policy
student athlete
and
may
so
not
that everyone
participate
is
in
on the
school
same
athletics
page.
or in sports activities
Parents and
outside the
students,
school
note C,
under a
a
name
student
other than
athlete
his
or his or her
own.
parents must pay the fee.
Again, amateur
for
status
specialized training
violations
or instruction
are
such
very,
as
very
camps,
significant
and
and
can
can
result
result
programs.
in
You must pay
the
a
loss
full
of
fee.
athletic
It
participation
cannot
for
be
a
paid
significant
by
amount of
someone
time
else,
or for a
and
student
it
athlete's
cannot be a
entire high
reduced
school
fee.
career. When in doubt,
You
don't
must pay
take
the same
anything.
fee
Don't let somebody
any other
use your
student
name,
would be participating,
your likeness, a
paying
picture
that's
of you.
participating in that event.
Ask the
Letter E,
activities
a student
coordinator.
athlete must
I'm
not
here to help you in any
participate
way,
in an
shape, or all-star
perform.
game or similar
Again, familiarize
contest
yourself
except
with
for
A, B,
summertime
C, D, and E
activities
within the same league or program,
sports activities
or in
outside
which a
of
team is
school
selected to represent
on
a
page
league
4
in
of the
postseason
bulletin.
play. Athletes may
Some
compete
postseason
in not more
all-star
than two non-school
opportunities may be
competitions
permitted for
with
12th
school
graders
approval, and
who
that's
have
prior
completed
school
high school
approval
eligibility
before competing
in a
during each
particular
regular
sport.
sports
Check
season.
with your AD to
The
be
contest
certain.
will not
Again,
count against the
parents and
individual
student athletes,
maximum
if
for
you
the
have
athlete
questions
in
at
that
all
sport.
about anything regarding
Non-school
WIA rules and
competition will
regulations
not be allowed
or
during
anything
the
found in the high school
WIA tournament
eligibility
series in the sport.
bulletin provided by the
Violations
WIA,
of this rule
please contact
results
Mr.
in loss of
Jadarski
eligibility
for
for the
additional
remainder of the
information.
season, including the WIA tournament series.
Again, additional
Note, all of the
resources found
information
after
found under A, B,
high
C,
school
D,
eligibility
E, and
bulletin
F.
include,
I want to
as
mention
previously
a couple
mentioned,
in particular.
the
A,
WIAA
WIAA
rules
rules
do
do not
not
prevent athletes
Please
from
familiarize
practicing
yourself
with
with that.
non-school teams from the
Or
National
from receiving
Federation of High
private
School
skill
Instruction
is a parent
during the school
or
season.
guardian's guide to
However,
concussions.
they may not participate officially.
This is a very,
or
very helpful and
unofficially
informative sheet.
in more than
Remember,
two
a
non-school
concussion is a
competitions or
brain
practices,
injury. It is a very
including
serious
scrimmages
thing.
against other
Parents,
teams. On page 2 of
Note,
the
if
Parents
you are
Guide to
practicing in a
Concussion,
non-school
know
program
the
or
signs and
participating,
symptoms to
please
look
talk
for.
with the coach
Student
of your
athletes
high
never
school season. Try to hide the
because
fact
of
that
the
you have a
club sport
concussion.
policy, and
When
so
in
that
doubt, the
everyone is on
coaches
the
will
same
sit you
page.
out.
Parents and students, note C.
The
A
next
student athlete or
appendix
his or her
from the
parents
National
must
Federation
pay the
is
fee
information about
for
hazing.
specialized training or instruction.
Hazing is
such
defined
camps,
as
clinics,
any
and similar
humiliating
programs.
or dangerous
You must
activity
pay
expected of a
full
student
fee.
to belong to a
It
group,
cannot be paid
regardless
by
of their
someone
willingness
else,
to participate.
and it cannot be a reduced fee.
Some practices associated with high
you
school
must pay
hazing
the
carry
same
the
fee
potential for
any
serious
other
bodily
student
harm or
would
even
be
death.
participating.
These
Paying
practices
that
may
include
include
tattooing,
tattooing,
piercing, head
letter
shaving,
E. A student
branding,
athlete
sleep
must not
deprivation,
participate
physical
in an
punishment,
all-star game
paddling or red
or
bellying,
similar contest
kidnapping,
except for
consuming
summertime
unreasonable
activities
or unacceptable
within the
foods or
same league or
beverages,
program,
being
or
in which a team
deprived
is
of
selected
personal
to
hygiene
represent a
and
league in
inappropriate
postseason
sexual
play.
behavior. Some
Hazing
postseason all-star
and/or
opportunities
harassment
may
is
be
not
permitted for
tolerated
12th
at
graders
Oshkosh West,
who have completed high school eligibility,
and it is
in
illegal.
a particular
If
sport.
you feel you
Check
have
with
been
your AD
hazed,
to be
harassed,
certain.
or bullied, please
Again,
contact your
parents
school
and student
coach,
athletes, if
a
you have
teacher,
questions at all
and a
about
school
anything
administrator.
regarding WIA rules
As
and
a student
regulations,
athlete, please
or
set the
anything
tone.
found in the high school
Please set the
eligibility
example.
bulletin
Live
provided
the
by the
Wildcat
WIA
way.
Please
Respect
contact Mr. Jadarski
responsibility and
for
safety.
additional
Be a leader.
information.
If you see something going on that you feel isn't
Again,
right,
additional
or
resources
has the
found
potential
after
to be considered
high school
harassment,
eligibility
bullying, or
bulletin
hazing,
include, as previously
do the
mentioned,
responsible
the
thing.
WIAA performance
Stop,
enhancing and banned
interject,
substance list.
tell somebody
Please
that behavior
familiarize
is wrong
yourself
and
with that.
inappropriate, report it.
From the National Federation of High Schools is a parents
the
guardian's
next
guide to
informational
concussions.
sheet available for you.
This is a very, very
the
helpful
National
and informative
Federation
sheet.
is
Remember,
a
a
tool
concussion is a
regarding
brain injury.
positive sport
It is a very
parenting,
serious thing.
which includes a
Parents,
self-assessment.
On
And
page
then
2
a
of the
self-assessment
Parents
results
Guide to
sheet. I
Concussion.
encourage you
Know
to take that exam
the signs and symptoms
honestly
to look
and
for.
see where you score.
Student
Remember,
athletes
be
never
a fan.
try to hide the
not
fact
a
that you have a
fanatic.
concussion. Student
When in
athletes
doubt,
want
the
to win.
coaches will sit
Coaches
you
want to
out.
win. However,
The next
not
appendix
everybody gets
from
to
the
be a
National
starter. Not
Federation
everybody
is
gets to
information
play as
about
much as they
hazing.
want. It's
Hazing
a
is
team
defined
effort.
as
Together,
any
everyone
humiliating or
achieves
dangerous
more.
activity expected of a student to belong to a
If
group,
you have aspirations
regardless
of
of their
competing in
willingness to
athletics
participate.
beyond high school,
Some
student athlete and
practices
parents must be
associated with high school
aware of
hazing
and
carry
familiar with the
potential for serious
NCAA
bodily harm
Eligibility
or
Center.
even death.
Please
These
see
practices
your
may
guidance
include
counselor
tattooing,
and work with them
piercing, head
to
shaving,
make sure you're on the
branding,
right
sleep
academic
deprivation,
track
physical
to
punishment,
be
paddling or
academically
red bellying,
eligible if you
kidnapping,
participate in
consuming
athletics
unreasonable or
beyond
unacceptable
high school
foods or
and an
beverages,
NCAA
being
Division I or
deprived
Division
of
II
personal
institution.
hygiene and or inappropriate sexual behavior.
If you are a transfer student,
hazing,
meaning you are brand new
and or
to the
harassment
Oshkosh area
is
school
not
district,
tolerated at
it is
Oshkosh West,
imperative that you contact
and it is illegal.
the activities coordinator.
If you feel you have been
My
hazed,
email and
harassed,
phone
or
number
bullied,
found in
please
the screen
contact your school
to make sure
coach,
that you are
a
going to
teacher,
be
and
eligible.
a school administrator.
No transfer student
As a
is
student
allowed
athlete,
to
please set the
compete
tone.
or practice until
Please
we
set
know
the
they
example.
are
Live
eligible
the Wildcat
to begin
way.
participation.
Respect, responsibility, and safety. Be a leader.
If
Some
you see
information
something
about the
going
locker
on that
room,
you feel isn't
the
right,
athletic department
or has
provides
the potential
locks
to be
for
considered
lockers in the
harassment,
varsity
bullying, or
locker
hazing.
room. Do the
It is
responsible
expected
thing.
that student athletes utilize
Stop,
the varsity locker room,
interject, tell
utilize the
somebody that
lock we
behavior is wrong
provide,
and
and
inappropriate,
lock
report
up
it.
your valuables. Don't leave anything unlocked at any
Parents,
time.
the next informational
Also, when
sheet
your season is
available for
done,
you
even if you participate
from the
or will
National
be
Federation
participating in a
is
sport the
a
next
tool
season,
regarding
we need you to
positive
clean out your
sport
locker as soon
parenting,
as your season
which
is done.
includes a
You will
self-assessment,
be assigned a new locker,
and then a
as we need to
self-assessment
clean those
result
lockers
sheet.
after
I
each
encourage
and
you to
every
take
sports
that
season.
exam
Again,
honestly.
lock up
and
your
see where
stuff.
you score.
Lock up your
Remember,
stuff.
be a
Lock
fan,
up your stuff.
not a fanatic.
Student
I'm
athletes
very
want to
pleased
win.
to report that the
Coaches
Oshkosh
wanna
West
win.
weight room project,
However,
has come to a substantial
not
point
everybody
of
gets to be a
completion.
starter. Not everybody gets to
Below
play
the
as much
slide
as
is
they
a
want.
photo of what
It's
this
a
new
team
asset
effort.
looks
Together,
like. Everyone achieves more.
The aesthetic piece will be completed before the start of school.
If you have
We're
aspirations
still
of
looking
competing
for
in
donations
athletics
to
beyond
help
high
create an
school,
Acorn Fund.
student athlete and
purchase
parents
additional
must be aware of and familiar with the
equipment.
NCAA
But I want to
Eligibility
personally
Center.
thank
Please
anyone
see your
that
guidance
did
counselor
anything
and work
either
with them
financially
to make sure you're
or
on
word
the
of
right
mouth
academic
or help
track
promote
to
our
be
Raise the Bar
academically
project.
eligible if you
Our
participate
sincere
in
thank
in
you
athletics
from Oshkosh
beyond
West
high school at an
to
NCAA
everyone
Division
that helped
I or
make
Division
this
II
dream a
institution.
reality. This is now
If
going
you are
to
a
be
transfer
facility
student, meaning you are
that
brand
each and
new
every student at
to the
Oshkosh
Oshkosh
West
Area
can
School District,
feel very
it is
proud about
imperative that you
and
contact
utilize to help them reach
the
their
activities
optimal
coordinator
level of
My
physical
email and
fitness.
phone number are found in the screen
To make sure that you
Parents,
are going to
the
be
Oshkosh
eligible.
West Booster Club
No
is an
transfer
organization
student
that
is
does
allowed
a tremendous
to
amount of
compete
things
or
to
practice
help
until we know
support
they are and promote
eligible
athletic programs
to
at
begin
Oshkosh West.
participation.
Each and every sport will be asked to work concession events.
Some information
throughout
about the
course of
locker room.
school year. The athletic
When you get that
department
email or
provides
phone call or
locks
text
for
message to
lockers
help
in the
out,
varsity.
please do your
locker
part
room and help work in the
It is
concession
expected
stand.
that student athletes
Sport
utilize the
reps
varsity locker
are-
room, utilize the lock we
are,
provide, and
are
lock
assigned for
up your
each of our
valuables.
programs.
That
Don't
is
leave
really
anything
someone who's
unlocked
actively
at any
involved
time.
in attending meetings.
Also, when your
distributing
season is done,
information,
even if you
and working
participate
closely
or will
with
be
the
participating
head
in a
coach of each
sport the next
particular
season,
program.
we need you
If
to
that's
clean out
something
your
that
locker as
interests you,
soon as your
please
season is done.
contact the head coach.
You will be assigned a
of
new
the
locker
sport your child
as we
is
need to
participating
clean
in.
those lockers after
Also,
each
we
and every
encourage
sports
all
season.
parents,
Again,
no matter what
lock up
level
your
of
stuff,
involvement
lock
you
up your
have,
stuff, lock up your
to
stuff.
come and attend the Oshkosh West Booster
I'm very
Club
pleased to
meetings.
report that the Oshkosh West
We
weight
meet
room
once in
project
August,
has
in the middle
come
of the
to a
month,
substantial
and then the
point
first
of completion.
Wednesday, typically of each
Below the
month
slide
at
is a
6:30
photo of
in
what
the
this
old
new
room.
asset looks like.
Again, please come, get
the
involved in the
aesthetic
Booster
piece
Club.
will be
They do
completed before
great
the start
things
of
for our
school.
student athletes at
We're
Oshkosh
still
West,
looking for donations
and
to
they
help
can't
create an
do what they
Acorn
need to
Fund
do
and
without your
purchase
help.
additional rehabilitation equipment.
This concludes
But I
the
wanna personally thank
2017-2018
anyone
athletic
that
code meeting
did anything
presentation.
either
I want to
financially
thank you for your time
or word
in
of
viewing
mouth
this.
or help
I
promote
want to wish all of you
our
the
Raise
best
the
of
Bar
luck this
project.
school year.
Our
Make it
sincere
a great
thank
year
you
from
being
Oshkosh
11.
West High School.
I
to
challenge
everyone
each and
that
every
helped
one of you
make
to do
this
the
dream a
best you
reality.
can. This
To
is now
raise
going
the
to be
bar,
a facility
do the
that
right
each and every
thing,
student at
promote
Oshkosh
the
West
Wildcat
can
culture,
feel very proud about
and
and
encourage
utilize
others
to help them reach
to
their
do their
optimal
best.
level of
Again,
physical
lead with a
fitness.
purpose, strive for greatness. Parents,
Best of luck
the
to you, and if you
Oshkosh
have
West
questions
Booster
about
Club is an
anything at all
organization that
found in the
does a
video, please
tremendous
contact
amount of
Mr.
things
Jadarski
to help
at the
support
phone number,
and
email
promote
on the
our
cover of the
athletic
green
programs at
Co-Curricular
Oshkosh
Handbook,
West.
or find me in the
Each
main
and every
office.
sport will be
When you are
asked to
done
work
viewing this
concession
presentation,
events throughout
please
the
make
course
sure
of
you
the
fill out
school
the
year.
form below the
When you
video
get that email
and
or
hit
phone
submit,
call or text
as it is
message to help
required.
out, please do
This-
your part.
this video
and help
presentation
work
is
in the
required to
concession
begin
stand.
practicing, and you
Sport
do not
reps
get credit until you
are-
fill out the form and hit submit.
are assigned
Go
for each
Wildcats.
of our programs. That is really someone who's actively involved in attending meetings, distributing information, and working closely with the head coach of each particular program. If that's something that interests you, please contact the head coach of the sport your child is participating in. Also, we encourage all parents, no matter what level of involvement you have, to come and attend the Oshkosh West Booster Club meetings. We meet once in August, in the middle of the month, and then the first Wednesday, typically of each month at 6:30 in the old room. Again, please come, get involved in the Booster Club. They do great things for our student athletes at Oshkosh West, and they can't do what they need to do without your help. This concludes the 2017-2018 Athletic Code Meeting presentation. I want to thank you for your time in viewing this. I want to wish all of you the best of luck this school year. Make it a great year. Be an 11. I challenge each and every one of you to do the best you can to raise the bar, do the right thing, promote the Wildcat culture, and encourage others to do their best. Again, lead with a purpose, strive for greatness. Best of luck to you, and if you have questions about anything at all found in the video, please contact Mr. Jadarski at the phone number or email on the cover of the green Co-Curricular Handbook, or find me in the main office. When you are done viewing this presentation, please make sure you fill out the form below the video and hit submit, as it is required This video presentation is required to begin practicing, and you do not get credit until you fill out the form and hit submit. Go Wildcats!